Yes, good evening to everybody. Welcome to the class of the International Human Rights Law students. And please read what I put on the screen so that I could know that you are with me and I am with you. Both are traveling the same boat and reaching to the destination. Please read, unmute and read what I put on the screen.
Okay. Universal Declaration of Human Rights.
On which year it is passed? If you know it,
What?
you say. If you don't know it, you say pass on. Yes.
Come up again.
Which year it is passed? Which year it is made?
What do you say?
Year.
A person.
Universal Declaration of the Human Rights was made in the year.
Okay, 1948.
Appreciate. And it is the mother of the human rights. The charter is the mother of the human rights. Yes. In my yesterday class, we were dealing about the Security Council, and I said that the Security Council can act the economic sanctions, and it can also make the financial penalties, and travel bans, and diplomatic relations will be curtailed over there. So these are the actions could be done by the Security Council. Yes, what is the sign or symbol which I put it over there? Can you tell me? This sign.
Something like star.
It is not a star. It is asterisk. So when I say that, meanwhile other people will join. Meanwhile, I would like to say that. Okay, because yes, when you say the signs and symbol, are you hearing me? Sakinapal, are you hearing me? Sakinapal, are you hearing me? Say yes or no. Yes, Karibu sana Christian Masanja. Welcome Christian Masanja, are you hearing me? Christian Paul, are you hearing me? Say yes or no, because no one is giving the answer. Neither Sagina Paul is giving the answer, nor the Christian Masanja is giving the answer. Are you hearing me? Please give me the answer so that I could know that you are with me. I could not hear you. Okay, there is a problem of your system is there. But when you say the sign and symbol, I would like to show you this. Can you tell me what is this? This is one is asterisk. Next is the sign. Next is, I think that there is a problem of hearing. This is a hash. This is a club. This is a heart. This is the spade. The signs which I have made. And that is a star. That is a diamond. What about this one? Anyone? What about this sign? Christian Masanja, Saginapal. It is equivalent is and, but it is a ampersand. And this is a division, but actually it is a obelisk. So anyway, that I got the chance to see, that's why that I revealed those things. Now let us come to the point of our study is concerned. Third Committee of the General Assembly. What is this Third Committee of the General Assembly? The General Assembly Third Committee, within parentheses, social, humanitarian, and cultural, so examines the range of the issues, including the human rights question. So this General Assembly Third Committee also will take care of the human rights activities, human rights questions. The committee also discussed the questions relating to the advancement of the women and protection of the children, indigenous issues, the treatment of the refugees, the promotion of the fundamental freedom, or the elimination of the racism and the racial discrimination and the self-determination. These are all the things will be dealt by the third committee of the General Assembly too. The committee also addresses important social development question also. So this is also one of the organ which will take care of the human rights. Are you hearing me?
Yes, yes, Professor.
Yes. What is the various other UN bodies? Can you read?
Various other UN bodies, different intergovernmental bodies, and interdepartmental mechanism based at the United Nations headquarters in New York, as well as the United Nations Secretary General, address a range of human rights issues.
Yes.
The
So the different intergovernmental bodies are there, which are interdepartmental mechanism, and the United Nations headquarters, which is the New York, where the five organs are there. Only one organ is in The Hague, that is the International Court of Justice, Netherlands. So the United Nations Secretary General address a range of human rights issue. So it is the highest body of the person, and that is the United Nations General Secretary, and will take care of it. So the General Assembly of Economic and Social Council, the ECOSOC, as the subsidiary organ. So the General Assembly is the Economic Social Council is one of the subsidiary organ, make policy decisions and recommendations regarding the human rights to its member states and the United Nations system and the other actors. So there are many other agencies also will work over there to protect the human rights. So the United Nations Permanent Forum on Indigenous Issues, that is a UNPFII, an advisory body to the Economic and Social Council. So these are the other councils. It is advisory body has mandate to discuss the indigenous issue, including the human rights. So indigenous issue also it can deals, and it also deals the human rights. Which one? The United Nations Permanent Forum on the Indigenous Issues, and an advisory body it is, and which also deals the Economic and Social Council, plus including the human rights. It means not only the UN will take care of the human rights, the other agencies also will take care of the human rights. The Office of the High Commissioner of the Human Rights interacts. It's also one of the organ or agency, that is the High Commissioner of the Human Rights, interacts with and provides the advice and support on human rights issues, and these bodies and the mechanisms. So Human Rights Commission also plays an important role for protecting the human rights. The office also works the mainstream human rights in all areas of work of the organization, including the developments and peacekeeping, women, peace and security, which one deals High Commissioner of the Human Rights, and the responding the human rights humanitarian crisis. So another body or agency which will take care of the human rights is High Commissioner of the Human Rights. And human rights issues are also addressed in the context of the post-conflict UN peace building support activities. So here in the Tanzania also there is a Human Rights Commission is there. Is it or not?
is there. Is it there?
Yes, and some of the members, especially the teaching staff, will apply, and it is for the 2 years or 3 years tenure period. The Human Rights Commission members are the Human Rights Commission secretary, like that in the different states it is having. So the UN peace operations. So let us see what is the UN peace operations will deal with the human rights. To celebrate the International Day in the UN peacekeeping, the meet Nicole Nguyen at the time, a human rights officer working at the UN peacekeeping mission in the Democratic Republic of Congo. So it is that commissions are in different countries are there, and where the Democratic Republic of Congo at the UN peacekeeping person and the mission is there, and he will take care of it to deal the human rights activities. So many United Nations peacekeeping operations and political and peace building missions also include the human rights related mandates aimed in contributing the protection and promotion of the human rights. So the United Nations, especially the organ and other agencies which will take care of the human rights, including the high commissioners and including the other organs which we discussed earlier. So here what I want to say is the United Nations peacekeeping, this is also plays an important role for the implementing their human rights and obligations and uphold the rule of law. So human rights team on the ground work in close cooperation and coordination with other civilian and uniformed components of the peace operations. So the human rights team, it is also having the cooperation with the other components like a peace operations, in particularly in relation to the protection of the civilians, addressing the conflict related to sexual violences and the violence against the children, and strengthening the respect of the human rights and the rule of law. Which one? Human rights team also there, which will take care of the human rights violations, including it is the violation of the violation against the children, and strengthening the respect of the human rights and the rule of law through the legal and judicial reforms, security and sector reforms, and prison system reforms also. So the human rights team also will take care of it, the protection of the human rights. Now let us see the last part is Commission on the Status of Women. So this also will take care of the human rights violations, especially against the women. The Commission on the Status of Women, the CSW, is the principal global intergovernmental body dedicated to the promotion of the gender equality and the advancement of the women. So the UN is the only main body, the pillar to keep the human rights violations, and other agencies also play an important role in protection and promotion of the human rights. So these are the one point which I want to make it out as far as syllabus is concerned, that is the United Nations Human Rights Promotion System is concerned. Now let us see the right of production system is. So now let us see the United Nations Human Rights Promotion System. How the human rights promotion will be done by the United Nations. Are you with us, participants? Donati Maligua, Sakina Pal, Christian Masanja, are you following me? Say yes.
Yes.
Very good.
We are following.
Now let us see the another issue, that is the United Nations Human Rights Promotion Systems. So wherever is there, United Nation is attached over there. So because United Nation is the organ which is the pillar which will protect the human rights violation in the world as well as the state members. So now let us see the another issue, that is the United Nations. Yes, the United Nations Human Rights Promotion System. Now let us see the aims. To explain the duties of the UN peacekeeping personnel in promoting and practicing the human rights. So the UN peacekeeping personnel also, they are promoting and protecting the human rights. Yes. Relevance as peacekeeping personals, you have the responsibility to protect and promote the human rights through the work of them. Human rights are core pillar of the UN. So already told you that human rights are, yes, human rights are, human rights are, which is
Are
highlighted over
core
there.
pillars on the UN.
So the human rights are a core pillar of the UN. It is the UN will take care of the human rights, and that's why we can say the human rights are a core pillar of the UN. So promotion and protection of human rights are a part of the UN peacekeeping mission. So even a UN peacekeeping mission also will promotion and protection of the human rights will take care of it, and mandates and its structures also. So this lesson explains the human rights responsibility expected you in the host country, wherever the host country is there, and how the UN peacekeeping and the human rights commission also there in each country will take care of the human right protection. So we must be able to recognize human rights violations or abuses and respond appropriately. So in the when you say the human rights, what are the things will come first? Number one, is the human right violations, and number two, abuses. So read what is human rights violation.
Human rights violation, act or inact of the state official or agents, police, soldier, judge, local administrator, parliamentarian.
Yes, human rights violations, action. What is the next? What is the symbol that there is a sign is there after action? What is that? This one. After action, there is a one sign is there or symbol is there. What is that? Between the action and inaction. Are you following me?
Yes.
What is that sign and symbol? If you know it, you tell me. If you don't know it, you say pass on. Don't waste the time. Hurry up. I told you already. If you know it, you can tell me. If you don't know it, you say pass on.
Action is just those acts, but the inaction is just the other way of omission. Like
You are beating around the bush. I clearly said what is the sign and symbol, what its name. Okay, you cannot say the pass on also. I will give the answer. Action, that sign is slash, we can say, or stroke, we can say, or we can say oblique, OBLIQUE. But the Professor Hussain students will not say neither the slash, nor the stroke, nor the oblique. What they say? Virgule. VIRGULE. I repeat, VIRGULE. Virgule. That is the sign and symbol. Action, virgule, inaction of state officials or agent. What are the actions and what are the inactions of the state officials or the agent when the human rights violations are there? So, who are the agents? Either the police, soldiers, judges, local administration, parliamentarians, including the NGOs also. Including the NGOs also, they will act to protect the human rights violation in the host countries, in the different countries of the world. So that is the one human right violation. Second one is human rights abuse. So there are committees by non-state actors, and here we can say who are the non-state actors, and here we can say the non-state actors are, yes, non-state actors are, who are the non-state actors? It is on the screen only, you can just see and read.
Labor groups, corporations, individuals.
It is the rebel groups, even the corporations, the body of the people, and individuals, they will also become the rebellions to fight against the government or to fight against the people. So now violations are concerned, human rights apply to every person. So every person, irrespective of the caste and creed, and the age, and the sex, and the race, and the skin color, it will be applicable to each and every person. Human rights protection results when people are able to fully exercise them. So when the people are want the rights to be exercised over there, then the protection would be there. And who protect those rights? Who protect those rights? It is the states are supposed to do. It is the member states are supposed to protect the human rights through the agents. Like I told you, the police, soldiers, parliamentarians, including the NGOs also. So international human rights law define, yes, international human rights law defines the state responsibility to its citizens. So state responsibility to its citizens means subjects. States have a duty to uphold people's human rights. And whose duty is it to protect the human rights? Yes? Whose duty is there to uphold the people's human rights? Give me the answer. Whose duty is to uphold the people's human rights? If you know the answer, you can tell me. If you don't know the answer, you can say pass on. Participants. State. State has a duty to uphold the people's human rights. See, I already put it there on the screen. Even by looking it also, you are not in a position to give the answer to my question. Who will take care of the people's human rights uphold? It is the state will take care of it. So anyone in an official state or capacity, a duty bearer means a police officer, a soldier, a judge, a local officials, government representative, including the NGOs. These are the bearers. They should also play an important role to protect the human rights. Is it clear? Is it clear? Say yes or no. Participants, are you hearing me now? Anyone can unmute and give me the reply.
Yes.
Why you are taking so much time? Sir, I disconnected, I can log out. Who are the duty bearers of the state here? The duty bearers of the state who will act to protect the human rights, promote and protect the human rights. Yes, it is there on the screen. I don't know. Duty bearers. Who are they?
Police officers, soldiers, judges, local officials, government representatives.
Including the NGOs.
Okay.
So when the duty bearers ignore or act in a way that undermines the people human rights, they fail as a duty bearers. So it is the duty of the duty bearers to take care of the and protect the human rights. If they don't do, that means the duty, they fail the duty. So they violate the human rights or commit the human rights violations when they are negligent in their duty. Who? The duty bearers. Who are the duty bearers? Police officers, soldiers, judges, local officials, government representatives, including the NGOs also. So they violate the human rights or commit the human rights violations. So the term human rights violation is a failure by the state. So if the state or its bearers will fail to protect the human rights, then we can say it is a human rights violation. So the term human rights violation is a failure by the state. It is a failure of the state. At the time we can say the human rights violation. The action or no action to perform its legality binding obligation to respect and protect and fulfillment of the human rights. So it is a state responsibility is there to take care of the and through the office bearers to protect the human rights and to promote the and protect the human rights of the subjects of their states. So deliberate action as a result of the human rights violation. So a deliberate action also there, which is human rights violation. So number one, arrest or detention by police officer without a warrant or a reasonable cause, it is also human rights violation. And in my earlier class, when I have shown one Chandra versus then one of the case law of Supreme Court, where it is a violation would be there, a detention would be there, done by the Arusha, a person was imprisoned over there, but the Human Rights Commission, Human Rights Court said, no, it is an illegal arrest that we discussed in the earlier class. So even the arrest and detention without a legal warrant and reasonable ground, it is amount to also the human rights violation by the police officer. The torture of a detainee in a police or military custody. So in the police custody torture, third degree methods or military custody torture and the rape of a woman and a girls by the soldiers. Why soldiers they have especially mentioned? Anyone? Rape of a woman and girls by the soldiers. Why particularly the soldiers they mentioned?
Because soldiers are the agents here.
No doubt they are the agent, they have to try to protect them. But why the rape and women and girls, they will rape it? The reason is they are very far away from their wives and they will be biologically hungry, and that's why the most of the places, not the police will do the rape, but the soldiers will do the rape. Did you get my point?
Yes.
I appreciate. So opening fire on a peaceful demonstration without a cause by police or military. So without any reasonable cause for the unruly mob to make it ruly, without the opening fire, without any reason, even that also amounts, because no one can open the fire first. What do? Either the police or military, lathi charge. Next, Next,
Lack of action that results in human rights violations.
no, say next means not the next line. See, the first and foremost, either the police or the soldiers will not open the fire on peaceful demonstrators. If at all they do it, when the demonstrators become unruly, they do the first lathi charge. Next, tear gases. What is that? What is that?
Again.
Tear gases. You know tear gases? They use the gases which will make you to smart your eyes and you will get the tears.
Okay.
You will run away. The first lathi charge, next tear gases, the last one is opening the fire. So these are the method. When not for the peaceful demonstrators, if the demonstrators become unruly, so even that is also a human right violation. When the peaceful demonstration, if anybody opens the fire, either by the police or military, it is amount to the human rights violation. So lack of action that results the human rights violations. So the another point is lack of action would be there for these human rights violations. Number one, a government not providing the basic service to the group of internally displaced person, that is called IDPs. And for example, food, water, and adequate shelter. So these are the essential things a person who came from the internally displaced person is coming from the various other state, even for the asylum, or migrated people and forcefully coming from one state to another state. So at that instance, the state should have to take care of it to see that they will provide the food, water, and adequate shelter. If not, it also amounts to the violation and of the internally displaced persons. That means those who migrated from one state to another state. Then a local ministry of the education representative not taking measures so that the girls can attend the school. Even when the girls could not attend the schools, means it is a lack of the local ministry of the education will not making the representation to see that the girls or the boys should have to attend the school. Is there in Tanzania the free education up to which level? Yes.
Secondary level, Form 4.
Okay. But in other places, again, you have to pay the fee or they will give you some scholarship. Okay, that is there in the constitution. In India, it is there compulsorily, yes. 14 years below, they should have to given a free education. It is a constitutional mandate is there. So let us see, the state fails to ensure that in case of their rape by the government agents. So if the government agents were doing such a rape, it is also human right violation. So cases of the effectively investigated, where there is a sufficient evidence of the prosecution or perpetrators are prosecuted and punished according to the gravity of the offense. At that instance, if any violation would be there, the state should have to take action to the perpetrators and they will be prosecuted and they will be punished depending upon the gravity of the offense they have committed. So that is the human right violation. Now let us see the abuses. Read the abuses.
The term human rights abuse. What?
Proceed.
The term human right abuse is broader than human right violation. Human right abuses are acts by non-state actors which prevent the enjoyment of human rights. Non-state actors include labor groups, militias, corporations, or individuals.
So the non-state actors includes those who make abuses. So here they say the term human right abuse is a broader than the human rights violation. Now we can say which is the genus and which is the species. Sir, we don't know what is genus, what is species. Is it?
Here.
The broader one is genus and the smaller one is species. That means human right violation is the species and the human rights abuse is the genus.
Sure.
That is the meaning. So human rights abuses are acted by the non-state actors. Who are the non-state actors? Rebel groups, militias, corporations, and in the individuals also. So these people will be fight against the state, or they do create the violence and the abuses in the state to create the havoc. So that is number one, human right violation. Number two, abuses where the state should have to take the care or the state agency should have to take the care. What are the state agencies and the state actors and state bearers? Anyone?
The state agents are the polices, soldiers, judges, local officials, government representatives, and NGOs.
Yes, those are the state bearers. Even if they fail to do duty, even abuses means it comes to the non-state actors. That is an abuses. So abuses is a broader one, and the human right is a smaller one. So the second part is importance of the human rights protection. So number one, human rights, a core pillar of the UN that we already studied. Number one. So number two, we will not enjoy the development without security, definitely. And we will not enjoy the security without the development. And we will not enjoy either without the respect of human rights. So if you want to enjoy the human rights, there should be security. If you want to enjoy the human rights, there should be a development. So security and development, and if the both are there, yes, one can enjoy the human rights. If it is not there, there is a human rights automatically violations, we may say. So now let us see that what is the human rights at the core of the UN work. The United Nations has collectively responsible to promote, protect, and encourage respect for the human rights. So the very important factor is the UN has a collectively responsibility to promote, protect, and encourage the respect for the human rights, definitely, because it is the UN, the pillar of the human rights. The UN Charter commits the UN to promoting, we don't say to promoting, after two there will not be promoting generally comes, to promote universal respect for the human rights. So UN charters definitely say that it is a 1948 charter which is the mother of the human rights. So human rights cut across all the areas of UN work. Yes, in all the areas of the UN work, the human rights are there. They apply also the peace and security and economic and social affairs and development, corporations and humanitarian assistance work. These are all the components should be present over there if you want to see the human rights protection. They are also part of the Security Council's 5 Peace and security activities. Yes, human rights is a part of the 5 Peace and security is there, then only the human rights protections are there. And if there is no conflict of prevention is there, then the human right protection will not be there. So for the human right protection, there should not be a conflict prevention, and there should be a peacemaking, and there is a peacekeeping, and the peace enforcement, and a peace building would be there. When these are there, we can say that there is a protection and a promotion of the human rights by the UN. So how many peace are here? 5 peace and security activities. One is conflict prevention, Then number 1, peacemaking. Number 2, peacekeeping. Number 3, peace enforcement. Number 4, peace building. So please try to remember and write in your examination when you come over there. The UN pillars are there and we will take care of it. And UN peacekeeping and peace making and peace enforcement and peace building, they are the core of the human rights promotion and production by the UN. So abuse and violation of human rights linked to conflict as both cause as a result. Respect for the human right is a foundation for lasting peace and security. Yes, if there is no peace and security, there is no human rights protection. The UN protects and promotes the human rights to prevent conflicts, number 1, achieve and keep peace, number 2, 3, help country and people recover after the conflict with the peace building. So these are all the activities of the UN, it can make it out. So development, security and human rights depend upon each other. So development and security and peace, it is always depends on each other. If there is no security and peace and development, there is no human rights production. So human rights are key part of the promoting justice and reconciliation also. Even in justice and reconciliation, yes, human rights is a part of it. The UN will not approve or support, recognize amnesties for war crimes, a crime against the humanity, or grave violations of international human rights or humanitarian law. Such amnesties may be in a peace agreement negotiated between the government and rebel group. So when there is a conflict between the government and rebel group, there is a peace violations are there. At the time, amnesties will come and they will try to resolve the conflict between the government and rebel groups. What is the amnesties? A good example for such a conflicts in the wars, where it come across and give the help to the people, those who are suffering, and they try to see that rebels would not fight with the government. What is that? A great international agency, Amnesty, Red Cross Society. What is that? What is that?
Yes.
Red Cross Society, Amnesty International. If any crime, war crimes are there, conflicts are there, even the human rights violations are there, and this Red Cross Society will come and try to help the needy. Are you following me?
Yes.
You not only the Red Cross Society, even the other groups of the human rights groups or teams, they will come forward, including the NGOs and who will work for the human rights, because some of the funds comes from them, from the Human Rights Commission. Thus, then the success of the UN peacekeeping depend on the attention to the human rights. If the human rights are attended over there, then we can say if the peacekeeping will be attentively there. The performance of the UN peace operation is largely ultimately measured by the how they contribute to the human rights, and including the situation of the imminent threat of physical violence and prevent the occurrence of the further violations. So we can easily make it out whether there is a violence is there or not, because of the, if the peace is there, everything will be calm. If the peace not there, then everything will be the threat and the physical violence would be there. Are you following me?
Yes.
So no peace, no security, no human rights protection. Is it clear?
Yes.
The Security Council mandate most multidimensional UN peacekeeping operation, that is the unit peacekeeping operation, UNPKOS to promote and protect the human rights. The task helped ensure the respect of human rights and accountability for the violations and abuses. And the tasks include, it is clearly given what are the tasks are there. Can you read what is the task include?
It
Yes.
includes monitoring, investigating, and reporting on human rights violations and abuses, empowering the population to assert and claim their rights,
Next.
developing the capacity of the state and national actors and institutions to implement their human rights obligations,
Good.
uphold rule of law.
Very nice. Next.
The Security Council include cross-cutting thematic tasks in most mandates for UN peacekeeping operation.
Yes, I will explain here. The Security Council, it says the cross-cutting theme of the task and UN peacekeeping operations on, and when they make it out, number one, protections of the civilian, they do it first. Number two, addressing the conflict related to sexual violences. Number three, protection of the children. Number four, protections the women through the women peace and security agents. So these are the activities the Security Council will deal it when there is a human rights violations are there, they try to protect it. So all the link of the human rights, all peacing personals share responsibility to protect and promote the human rights through their work. So these are the 2 points which I made it over there clearly. One is the violations, another is the abuse. Then who are the actors and the non-state actors and who did the such an activities for the violations. Now the third point, because the time is up, at any time it will be stopped. We will see the legal framework. What is the legal framework would be there to protect the and promote the human rights? Number one, UN Charter. Number two, International Human Rights Law. Number three, Security Council resolutions. And we will see in tomorrow class and at the 9:10 to 10 o'clock, we'll see. And as I said, the Friday class is from 5:10 to 6 p.m. So this is fixed. What are the days? Repeat. What are the days where the International Human Rights class was there? Is there?
What do you mean?
Monday, Tuesday, and
Oh, and Friday.
what is the timings?
On Monday it is around 9:10 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Tuesday?
and on Tuesday it's 9 to 10 p.m.
Instead of saying 9:10 to 10, the same timings. What about the Friday?
Yes. The Friday is around 5
10.
to 6.
Yes. So let us meet it at any time, it will stop. And see, we need not worry about it. Only core points that you could mention in the examination also, because
Mungu ibariki